have been witnessed all across the town of Buea. This exercise took place this Wednesday morning in the town of Buea. And on to our countdown to Back to School 2024-2025, school heads in Cameroon are doubling efforts and their energy to flush out the use of hard drugs all across secondary schools in Cameroon for the 2024-2025 academic year as it draws near. And on to sports. After the battle for the stadium between Fecafoot and the Ministry of Sport and Physical Education, CAF finally settled for the choice of Fecafoot of Samuel Eto'o. That is the match between Cameroon and Namibia to be played at the Rumdaja Stadium in Garoua. Those were major stories. Good evening to you all. This is High Prime of Wednesday, the 28th day of August 2024. For presentation, I am attending Larry Kevin to start off this newscast with this story from the town of Buea, where Buea denizens has been called upon to do all the needful when it comes to giving the town of Buea a new facelift. This exercise took place in Buea today morning after the senior divisional officer for FACO, Yang Mekala, in a clean city contest situation that he drove all the way from Limbe to Buea to make sure that denizens in Buea inculcates the habit of cleanliness following the dumps of piles of wastes that have been playing witnessing to this situation of uncleanness in the town of Buea. Adesoke Language Komi Chol, the SDO for FACO, and now brought back this report.
There is no gainsaying that for some time now, Buea has been dirty. Almost every tea bench had piles of dirt at the entrance. It is for this reason that the Senior Divisional Officer for FACO, Veng Mekala, under the instructions of the Southwest Governor Bernard Okalia Bilai, has launched a cleanup campaign to make Buea clean again.
You don't want to see Buea clean? Are you getting me? Were you aware? Who is there? Who is selling here? Who is selling here?
The launching, which took place this Wednesday, August 28th, saw the divisional officer for Buea, deputy mayors from the Buea Council, Honorable Malomba, and other dignitaries accompanying the senior divisional officer. The first stop was at Bunduma, OIC, Buea Town, and the Muya Market.
I'm satisfied because of the positive response from the population. Before we carry this exercise, we have to organize a preparatory meeting with the traditional rulers, the politicians, prepare this clean-up campaign. And the activity was ordered by His Excellency the Governor of the Southwest region to make sure that at least Buea should remain the most cleanest town of the country as it used to be, because you can see how the situation that we have now is that we have dirt everywhere. So you see that we should not allow it like that.
From observation, the SDO was pleased with the population of Munya, applauding their chief for mobilizing the population.
Responded
positive. Most of them are getting left to their farms because finish up by 9:30. Take a stroll around the town. You see that some people are still putting efforts to the final cleaning. Most the job of the work was here.
We send our gratitude to the population.
On the other hand, he was not too happy when he visited some areas.
I'm asking the question. Who is there? Are you aware of this campaign? Are you aware that there? Not mayor, where is the mayor? Okay, I must say all this shopping. All this.
Henceforth, every last Wednesday of the month has been set aside for cleanup campaign in Buea.
The first instruction is that the population must collaborate. They must take part in the exercise by closing, first of all, close their shops and to be present and to clean their places. Not that we pass we together. We say we saw it in one market where people were, even some of them were saying that they were not aware of what they were doing. So we want to tell them they must have it in their mind that every last Wednesday of the month, it concerns all the population. The taxi drivers also. We need them. So they must be present, they must participate and clean their places, because the Isaac will not come to their house, to their shops, or to the office to clean.
With the stepping in of the Southwest Governor, the SDO for Fako, the DO for Boya, Member of Parliament, there is hope that Boya will be clean again.
Taking you now to the countdown of the 2024-2025 academic year school resumption, where schools in Cameroon are beefing up security measures to curb on the incessant use of hard drugs by students on campus. That is coming into place after last year's increase of hard drug consumption on campus. To the different school authorities that our reporter spoke to, they say they are making sure this new academic year will not be the same as compared to that of last year, where drug consumption was quite notorious in the school milieu. More on that with journalism student on internship, Emeleke Civil.
By Cameroon's Minister of Finance, Louis-Paul Mortaze, has revealed a massive pension fraud by some former staff of the country's defense and security forces for about 10 years now regarding issues of fake birth certificate. According to the investigation, it was discovered that a total of 12,846 fake birth certificates were presented by these pensioners to illegally claim child allowances. The search equally found out that some retirees continue to earn child allowances for children above the age limit provided by the law. Per the regulation enforced, the age at which payment of child allowances for children of army personnel ends at 16, while that of the defense force ends at 20. In response to this search, the government has halted payment of these allowances to retired workers whose names were found in the search, and as such are in the process of digitizing birth registration systems so that civil status documents like birth certificate can be easily obtained but difficult to forge.
And we are sorry for that mix-up. That was Landrin Kemanya reporting on the discovery of the Minister of Finance, Louis-Paul Mortaze, where some retirees and state workers on the state payroll have been inflicting imaginary children so as to get child allowances from the state of Cameroon. This discovery by Louis-Paul Mortaze has now gone a long way to curb on the corruption in the among certain state functionaries and retirees in the country. We move on to the city of Yaoundé this time around with this human interest story, where the neighborhood of Nsam in Yaoundé are still in shock following the discovery of two dead bodies in a empty oil tank in the Nsam neighborhoods. To ascertain these demise of this truck driver of that set oil tank company belonging to the Cameroon Deposit Petroleum Company, known for short in French as SCDP, forensic and the gendarmerie and police forces, all of the Fundi division, has swung into action to ascertain the circumstances that led to the death of the oil tanker driver and his assistant. More on that in the following story. Family members, friends of the Cameroon Petroleum Depot Company, SCDP in Yaoundé, were in shock after failure on several attempts to inform a truck driver and his conductor that there would be no delivery didn't go through as planned. This oil tank was being parked opposite the company. With this fright that the truck must have been abandoned, the personnel quickly rushed to the scene to discover for themselves doors were being opened and items belonging to the driver and his conductor were all present, but none of them were visible on ground. With another call placed to a fellow truck driver to come to the base in Oja, who quickly rushed. As he arrived, he noticed the lifeless bodies of the two men were inside the empty tank in Oja. He climbed a tank. He is a Muslim and later on shouted, calling on us to come and see for ourselves. With this shock spread all across Yaoundé, one of the deceased brothers who spoke to him the previous day and the company's manager all attest they find it difficult to believe their eyes. We are really in a total state of shock as we could not have believed what just happened, and this is not easy to be digested. At age 32, the fuel tanker driver Lionel has been driving for the past years. It was about a year ago that he was integrated into SADP, but he has been driving trucks for the past years. The elements of the firefighting brigade succeeded in retrieving the remains from the tanker as the gendarmerie police all cut off traffic along the Carrefour-Sam stretch so as to effectively invoke the investigation of these as the forensic experts swing into action to ascertain on what must have caused the demise of these two gentlemen working with SADP. As for now, investigation are still unraveling. And what is sad still there from the Nsam neighborhoods of Yaoundé. We move now to the southwest regional capital of Buea, where the Office of the Public Independent Conciliator for the southwest region has wrapped up a one-day workshop with the different 31 mayors in the southwest region on educating them on what needs to be done so as to make sure they provide the adequate service delivery to all their municipal figures in their different municipalities. This exercise is coming as one of the activities of the Southwest Public Independent Conciliator Office, who is always there to make sure that service delivery across the various grassroots population are being galvanized and directed to the adequate quarters. Atlas Leke Liengu Ikome now tells us more.
After 3 years of existence, the Office of the Public Independent Conciliator Southwest Region is hosting a one-day seminar with frontline local authorities. The meeting, which took place this Thursday, August 27, is aimed at having a one-on-one talk with these local authorities, get their worries, and pave a way forward.
I've had a series of meetings in the different municipalities with the mayors present. This time I decided to bring all the mayors of the region so that we talk one-on-one, face-to-face, and look at some of the worries they have been expressing.
OPIC Southwest so far has achieved a lot for these 3 years, and decentralization has also played a great role in ensuring that the grassroots population benefits.
We have been able to touch all the 6 divisions of the Southwest region. We've been able to bring in the youths to work with us as community-based liaison officers. We have been able to work with civil society organizations. We've done a lot of benchmarking with other international bodies. I think decentralization is one of the best things that happen. A lot of things that used to take place at the level of the national territory are no longer. They have been brought down to the municipality, the basic structure of each region is the municipal councils. So these local authorities have been empowered and given funds to carry out with all those activities. I think that's a plus on decentralization, and decentralization is actually effective in Cameroon.
When it comes to the interests of the population, the regional council and municipal authorities concert together for better results.
The law of decentralization, all these authorities are autonomous. But that notwithstanding, there are certain competencies that cut across. For example, like garbage disposal, it concerns everybody. Matters of education, it concerns everybody. Although the law is clear that primary education is for the sub-divisional councils, while secondary education, the competencies are at the level of the regional assembly.
According to the mayors, they have been collaborating with OPIC.
In the absence of the Office of Public Independent Conciliator, those who were not actually satisfied with the way they were being treated, they never had anywhere to go. So some of us took advantage, say you have no alternative rather than to submit to or to succumb to the services that we render to you. But with the coming of this office, it acts as a watchdog to ensure that, since we know that we have another authority that can summon us to render our services according to the obligations that we have called up to render, I think so many mayors have improved.
I've been summoned once to appear before the Public Independent Conciliator upon a complaint that was made by a service provider who provided services to the council before the inception of my mandate. And this had to do with me not being able to make payment for the services he rendered. And I appeared before the Public Independent Conciliator, and we had to look at the situation of the council and to make the Public Independent Conciliator and even the complainant understand that every mayor has priorities. At the end of the day, we brokered an understanding on how the payment ought to be done, and same is respected to the latter.
Seminar was held under the theme Office of the Public Independent Conciliator, consenting with front-line local authorities to address recent progress attained in local governance and identify challenges encountered.
From the southwest regional capital of Buea, we move on to the town of Bamenda, the regional capital of the northwest region, where the special recognition exercise has been conducted in Bamenda for one of the frontliners who is there to promote young persons in the northwest region of Cameroon to gain popularity and make sure that their dreams are being realized. This exercise took place recently by the Minister of Civic Education and Youth Affairs, Monuna Futso, who recognized Ibrum Vincent Bache for his outstanding works when it comes to the promulgation of the Northwest young people and that of Cameroon at large. This took place recently at the Bamenda Military Stadium as a Northwest Bureau Chief, Nga Joyce Hasmo.
In a heartwarming ceremony officiated by Manuada Fotso, the Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, Mr. Bache was recognized for his tireless dedication to empowering young people. His selfless efforts have created a ripple effect of positivity, fostering an environment of inclusivity, creativity, and growth.
Just simply enlightens my works. Makes me feel joyful that the works I'm doing have been recognized, have been regarded by some group of people. Some may not look at them, but the administration is keenly looking at them. So the administration is behind us, the youths, all the youth should prosper, and the administration is encouraging us to continuously push the youth to the extent of their dreams.
Mr. Bache's commitment to amplifying his impact will undoubtedly lead to even more remarkable achievement, further solidifying his legacy as a champion of youth empowerment.
Students perform very well in their GPS. Yeah, the advanced level students, those that had 5 advanced level this year, and here are those that had 11 papers in the ordinary level 2024.
It gives me a lot of encouragement to double my effort, to double my kindness, to double my humanitarian gestures, to double my largesse for the youth of the Northwest region.
His legacy and humanitarian gestures have instilled hope and motivation in the hearts of many, demonstrating the transformative power of community-focused initiative. The recognition of Ihimbru Vincent Bache's outstanding effort is a testament to the enduring impact of selfless service. As a beacon of hope for the Northwest region's youth, his legacy will continue to inspire and empower generations to come.
If you are just watching us, you are watching High Prime, and we are coming live from our news studios here in High Television. We move on to this news item. This one is coming from the educational stakeholders in the nation, Cameroon, with barely few days to go for the school resumption for 2024-2025 academic year. School authorities in the secondary education milieu say they are beefing up security and measures to make sure that students do not use hard drugs on campus. This follows a setback of last year where there was an incessant usage of hard drugs all across the major secondary schools in Cameroon. But this academic year promised to be that of a difference, as the first school authorities our reporter spoke to, they are having divergent points to counteract these illegal activities that is perpetrated by some unscrupulous students on campus. Journalism student on internship in Meleke CV, Tasasma.
Last academic year in Cameroon, educational experts decries the continued use of hard drugs by students on campus. As school resumption draws near, the different educational establishments are gearing up to set up security and reduce such vices.
Avec l'éthique chrétienne que nous appliquons ici au collège,
with the Christian ethics that we apply in this college, we are less faced with students consuming drugs. At the level of the environment, before we admit a child here, they must be with their parents. Following our agreement, the parents and students are all present because education is not only student-teacher, but also teacher and parents. We explain to parents that the success of their children starts from home.
que la réussite de l'enfant partira de la maison.
Control and sensitization, systematic search amongst the students are some preventive tactics that some schools panel to adopt and enforce for next September.
Ce qu'on sait, c'est que
we have to proceed by sensitization. This is the first thing we will do 2 weeks into school resumption. After stabilizing everything and understanding the ambience, we have taken an appointment with the Douala 1 police station and we will have them come down here at school resumption to sensitize students during school assembly. We will also reinforce security at the level of the gate because we had unpleasant cases last year. We found some dealers here. On the other hand, parents on their part are tirelessly on this fight as they are ever conscious on their rules in maintaining and upholding the moral standards of their kids.
J'ai demandé à ma femme de vérifier.
I asked my wife to check their school bags before they go to school because of drug consumption. I have spoken to my children not to make friends with people they don't know and focus on their studies.
Si se concentrer à l'école sur les études surtout.
Fighting against hard drugs in schools and moral decadence in some societies remains a collective fight for all. That is between homes and schools. As reopening gathers steam, parents are called upon to be watchful.
And great reports in there done by journalism student and internship Meleke Civil. We move on to this border locality between the Littoral and the Southwest region, where for the past 30 years now, the chiefdom of Mwankang village that borders Melong and Bangem of the Littoral and Southwest region respectively has been at the pinnacle of a contradiction and controversy when it comes to the selection of who rules as traditional ruler. For the past 30 years, the two different contestants has been at loggerheads with each other, each claiming to be the legitimate traditional ruler of Mwankang village in that locality that borders the Bangem and Melong subdivision of the Southwest and Littoral regions respectively. But to the much of dismay to many others and observers who sees the various local administration giving their blessings to the different two contestants as the legitimate ruler of that village. But the villagers are calling on the Territorial Administration Minister Paul Atanganji to do the needful by putting sanity into this wahala. We have details on that story with Rita Mafani Muchoko.
For the past 30 years, the one-time peaceful and civil society of Gwakengang village that bordered Bangem and Melon in the southwest and littoral regions has been torn apart as two of her sons are at loggerheads following a chieftaincy palaver. The more than 1,000 inhabitants are in total confusion as the root of this crisis stems from the contested chieftaincy issue between Lonan Bong and Emmanuel Atabe, all claiming to be the true traditional rulers of the same village. In a confusing state, both men have been recognized by the local administration, leaving the villagers in more confusion. Mr. Atabe is not from my village. He doesn't have any recognized residence. As the years passes, tensions are growing with the people of Gwakengang, who find themselves in a dilemma as the confusion on whom to follow persists in as fragmentation reigns in the village.
A man who has worked at the highest level of the republic with 4 decrees from the head of state, how can I even know what is going on? But he uses such method to blackmail us and to blackmail me.
Traditional notables, being afraid this ongoing chieftaincy problem might turn violent, and are all urging Territorial Minister Paul Atanganji to settle the royals' conflict before it degenerates to something else.
Coming to his chiefdom, that is a self-made chief. I don't know where he got his documents. He knows where he started and how he will go. But one day we shall discover where he has been doing all these fake documents. I am the 10th chief in Mangwekan chiefdom from the period of German annexation up to the present day.
The pressing question on everyone's lip is, who is the authentic chief of Gwakengang village? This answer keeps blowing in the wind as the future of the village hangs in the balance, while hoping the rifts will be peacefully resolved and peace and order shall reign.
And may the Ministry of Territorial Administration put sanity into that chieftaincy wahala, as it cannot continue dragging on for the next year, as it is already 30 years later on. Away from that, we now move on to the town of Boya in the southwest region, where some more than 160 children from Ewunda and Bova villages of Boya sub-district has been awarded with didactic materials and cash prize for their school tuition by one of their illustrious sons from Fakot Division, Mola Din Lyonga Ngombe, who says it is his own way to give back to his community and to encourage education among the Fakot child. This exercise was championed by the Naira Foundation, as Alice Lekelengwe commissioned them throughout that ceremony.
Thank you so much,
He has kept to the promise he made about 4 years ago. Moladin Lyongalang Gombe is again this Sunday assisting and promoting education in his community by distributing didactic materials for this academic year in Ewunda and Bova respectively. Even though he is not based at home presently, he is able to paint a picture and knows exactly what his community needs.
This is the 4th edition of the Back to School program. First, I would like to thank the Naira's Foundation for a fantastic job done again. They distributed school materials to all the kids in Ewunda village and also in Ewunduka in Bova.
On top of all of these, Moladin Lyongalang Gombe is also giving cash as school fees, a promise he made for children who occupies the 1st and 2nd positions in their classes.
And I'm also proud to say that the scholarship I instituted about 2 years ago, entitled Late Chief Ese Isumenyoki's scholarship, was claimed this year by his granddaughter by name Queen Namundo Nixon, and she received his full scholarship for the 2024-2025 academic year, as well as a material. And I would like to take this opportunity to encourage other students. They have seen it and they have witnessed it, to tell them that if they work hard and they come 1st or 2nd in their class, there is a scholarship that is awarding them a full scholarship for the next academic year plus a school material. And I also want to encourage parents to encourage their kids to go to school, because if you don't learn today, tomorrow might be too late, right? And when you educate children, you educate a nation.
To the indigene of Ewunda and Bova too, Moladin Lyongalang Gombe is an icon and a role model.
So these are actions which we think should be followed by other elites of our area, so that our children will grow up to be learned.
He's a prince of Ewunda. I thank him for remembering his root, where he came from. I also want to thank the Nares Foundation and all the Wonder community was so grateful. May God bless you. Remember you are picking up on this side. Just again love for the picking up for you. So I want to thank you plenty.
Nares Foundation is always there to stand the gap.
We usually get to the village, we come to the village, we get to the quarter head and the prince in Munduka. He has been doing it again and again. This is the 4th edition and he promised to reach out to the children. That's why we are here. And he handed the scholarship of the child who came second to see that the fees are being catered for.
There is no gainsaying that not all who has wealth are willing to share and has their community at heart. Therefore, it is always wise to applaud such laudable initiative and hoping that others will copy and hope giving to the younger generation.
This morning, I want to jump. I am so cold. Give me money. I want to jump.
And moving forward with our sports page for tonight, the AFCON qualifier match between Cameroon and Namibia will be played this 7th of September at the Rumdaja Stadium in the town of Garoua in the north region of the country. This venue battle between Fecafoot and the Ministry of Sport was settled by the Confederation of African Football, who are heads to the choice of Samuel Eto'o of Fecafoot with the choice of the Rumdaja Stadium as Narcisse Mwele Kombi of Sport and Physical Education, and the ONIS, that is the body in charge of the governing of the various sports infrastructures known for short in French as ONIS, were insisting on the choice of the Amadou Ahidjo Stadium. But with this final verdict passed and the various referees and match delegates has been put in place by CAF, what will be on the 7th of September 2024 as Cameroon plays host to Namibia for the AFCON qualification ticket for 2025 African Cup of Nations that will be taking place in Morocco. And viewers of High Television, with that sports story, this is where we'll conclude tonight's news package, High Prime, of Wednesday, the 28th day of August 2024. Thanks for watching and good night from my news studios. But do not move from muscle at the top of the hour. Uncle Disman will be here with the news in the Pidgin language when it comes to 9 p.m. Meanwhile, we'll be back tomorrow, same time, same station. Good night.